I'm gonna be Wilson again. It's like, Heidi ho, neighborino. Make this one with a pair of underwear I have. And then there's a Hello Kitty poking her head out of one of them. It's super silly and super adorable at the same time. Oh, the cat has taken over my spot. Oh, hey, Gabby. Yeah. Hi, honey. Hey there, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope everyone's doing flippin' fantastic. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. Hey, Wicked. It's so good to see you, my dear. I feel like I keep missing you. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for the follow before. That was like 16 days ago. Can you believe that? Man, guys, like, holy crap on a cracker. It has been, let me turn that down. I know, I'm always adjusting the sound. It's like, it's tradition at this point that I gotta mess with something at this point, right? But, hey guys, I hope you're doing good. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. I got the Rona. It sucked. Monday, when we had that interview with Amanda, that was the last time that I... It's funny because Whiskey Tango had told me she had seen through the stream. She was watching me get really sick. And I'm like, well, I'm glad somebody noticed I was getting sick. Yes, I sound so great. Good. I'm so glad. I've got some energy. I am ready to go. I've missed you guys. I've missed streaming. And, you know, it's really nice. Doing good, working on the butterfly, waiting to see ya. Oh, good. You see me now. I'm excited to see your butterfly. I'm so excited. How are you doing on Sprout? Are you enjoying it? I've been seeing so many people. They're so much better than I am because, like, how many blocks am I behind? I am 4 blocks behind. I am 4 blocks behind on, well, and mine too because I sent my original one to Lori's. So 5 blocks. I'm 5 blocks behind. But I'm seeing people having their blocks already and their fillers getting done, and it's just like, so exciting. It's so exciting. I've never done a project like this before, and just seeing everybody's work is just, it makes me so happy. It fills my heart very much. Behind but enjoying the adventure. Good. That's the thing. And like Bart says, like the wise and mysterious Bart says, right? It's all about the journey, right? It very much is. So take it at your own pace, and as long as you've got all the blocks, you'll be good to go. And, you know, we're not going anywhere. Like, most of the ladies who are part of this project are here in the channel. Like, they're going to be around. So if you ever have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them for you. So yeah, it should be a good time. And make sure you tag me. Make sure you tag me on the Instagram so I can see your butterfly. I don't know if I've actually seen it yet or not. You got to remember, I have a goldfish brain, so trying to remember whose username here is the same on Instagram and in their emails and all. No, my brain gets scrambled. So yeah. So I'm so glad you're here for the adventure, and yeah. I'm so happy. You can tell I've got a lot of energy. I've been like taking it easy today and kind of like zoned and zen and pretty happy. Not done yet, but sure will when she's done. Good. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yay. I got a lot of energy today. We have been a little behind on Eevee. But don't worry, we'll get to Eevee. Not this week, but we'll start Eevee back up next Monday. Tonight is actually going to be the last Wednesday stream for a while, because we're going to be doing Monday, Fridays for a couple months, just to kind of give me a little bit of breathing room, because I totally, you know, my New Year's resolution was to say no to things, and I totally didn't do that today, and said yes to some things. I'm not going to tell you what, because I don't want everybody in the channel yelling at me for being a dingus, but, yeah, I'm a dingus. And so we have tonight, we have Chris. Yeah, don't judge me, Purple. Don't judge me. I'm judging myself heavily enough. I know Shummi's been judging me heavily. So, yeah, that's a thing. But so we have Chris tonight, and then Purple, who is Lori, will be in for an interview on Friday. She's our last interview of the Sprout Quilt Challenge, which kind of makes me a little sad. It's been really fun having people on and being able to interact. Now you have to tell us, nope, I don't have to tell you nothing. I can talk about everything else, but I'm not talking about that. You guys will notice, here, like, wherever. 7 years of streaming, and you would think I would know which side I need to point to because everything's reversed. No. We've got our sub goal upgraded. We are planning on going to H&H, so we're going big, so yeah. If you've got your Prime subs, make sure to hit that Prime. I won't be too selly-outy. We are done with HelloFresh for the month. If you did HelloFresh, let me know. I have gotten a couple different people reaching out to me about some really bad user experiences that they have had during the campaign, and I apologize for that. I have reached out to HelloFresh to let them know, and I'm not sure if anything will come of it, but I just want to be transparent, and we probably won't be doing HelloFresh again, because I'm a little peeved, to be honest, because you know me, I am not going to endorse and take a sponsorship or anything unless it's something that I 100% believe in and enjoy. And the stories that I've been getting about different interactions that users have been, community members have been having with HelloFresh has kind of made me very sour. Even though I haven't had those experiences, you guys are my community, and if you guys are having a bad experience with something that I am bringing to you, that's a problem. That's a problem to me. So I'm going to try and rectify it. So if you're having an issue, you don't have to talk in the chat about it. You can private message me on the Discord or on Twitch, whatever, and we will do our best to make it right. So, anyway, on with that, probably starting next week on Monday, I am in the middle of doing a renovation to the stream. So we're going to have some elements kind of changing and some backgrounds and stuff. So keep an eye out for that and see if you guys like it. You'll have to let me know. But we have been keeping our lovely guest in the wings a little too long for my liking, and you can see she's kind of waiting on us to come over and say hi. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Welcome to the stream. Hi. I am so sorry that I was such a dingus and because we were supposed to stream last Wednesday and just shit hit the fan and I got sick, and I apologize profusely about that.
It happens to all of us.
It really does, but it still sucks. Right?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And then we had our dates mixed up.
Yeah. And you know what? It was funny because I made that asset so long ago, and somebody was like, hey, you put Wednesday, or you put Friday, but the date is a Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, I should fix that. And then I guess I never fixed it. So.
But we made it.
We made it.
That's all that matters.
We're here. We got it now.
This shows we're flexible.
Yeah, chat, if you guys have any questions for Chris, I will read you guys. I'm not going to ignore you. Put your questions in the channel so I can ask Chris your burning hot questions. And, yeah. So, this is your first time on the stream. Is it your first time on Twitch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you like it so far?
I've just been hanging out.
Have you had a chance to kind of check out the user side of things and seeing what's in on Twitch?
I did a little bit. I even created an account under Memories and Stitches.
I saw that.
And so hopefully we're going to get that going here soon.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you don't feel up for streaming or you're not sure if you want to dip your toes in here, I highly recommend just checking out some of the other community members in the makers and creators, because there are quite a few crafters and quilters and crocheters and leather workers and 3D printers and Lego makers, and it's a real best category. So even if you want to do your embroidery machine, that's something.
I will definitely check it out. Yeah, definitely. It's nice to be able to find people that do what you do.
Yeah, it really is, and just kind of build a community and stuff like that, and kind of just get to know people.
Yeah, very cool.
And the demographic over here is a little different too, because I know you usually work on Facebook, yeah?
Typically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the demographic over there is 60s, late 50s. Around here, the demographic is typically around 25 to 35. Okay, that's the average, cool. Right? There are people, I know plenty of people who are in the 40s and 50s who are on Twitch, and they watch gaming and they watch all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My son is probably on it. He's a huge gamer.
Yeah, we get a lot of those. My kids watch Twitch. It's for gamers, right? Yeah. That's a lot of gamers.
Who knows?
I mean, there's something for everybody, you know what I mean?
That's good, though. Yep. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and absolutely. If you do think about streaming on Twitch, I know I'm the big advertiser for hi, we're Twitch. But it don't matter to me if people stream or not. But if you think about doing live streams, you can dual stream now on Twitch. So if you want to dual stream on Twitch and Facebook, or on Twitch and YouTube, that is an option.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, because I've got some stuff ready for YouTube that I've got to get finish editing and get that up. And so we got some actually long arming stuff that's getting ready to go up.
Ooh.
And some digitizing for embroidery that's getting ready to go up.
That'll be fun. I don't know many people who do that.
So trying to get that that category where a lot of people don't do it, to kind of start bringing that in.
Right. Mm-hmm. To kind of set yourself apart from everybody else.
Exactly. That's me.
That is you. You've been in the industry for a little bit, right? How long have you been in the quilting industry? as a whole?
As a whole, over 30 years. Yeah. Yeah, I actually, I would not have nothing to do with sewing, quilting, nothing. I was that horrible little child that when my mom would make me stay in the house because she made all of our clothes.
Right.
And if she said, you're going to learn how to do this, I was that child, that atrocious child that would lay on the floor, refuse to do anything, torture her. And at my grandma's, the only way they could ever keep me in the house is if it was raining. And she had quilting bees. Now, I loved the ladies. They were wonderful. I was spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
But if I had to stay inside, they were getting bugs in their shoes because they always took their shoes off.
Wow, you really were like an atrocious little brat. Wow.
And it took me getting pregnant with my first child while we were overseas. And I went into the base exchange and I looked at the baby stuff and bursted into tears.
Aww.
And I said, it's horrible.
Oh no.
So my husband went and bought me my sewing machine on base. I still have it to this day. It's now over 35 years old.
Wow.
And I bought a couple little baby things way back then. We still had brown paper bags. I cut all of those little pieces apart and I made my own patterns. And I went from sewing baby clothes to home deck to bridal wear to quilting to embroidery to long arming to everything.
So you were hooked.
Oh yeah.
Once you actually sat down and did it, you were hooked.
Yeah. I was done. It was over. It was over. That little, who knew a hobby could turn into what it has turned in for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're not just like a fabric designer, or you're not just a pattern designer like a lot of us. You have been like, you owned a shop and you've been fabric representative and like, what all? It's so hard for my goldfish brain to keep up with everything that you've done. Like, can you give us like a little bit of a timeline of like you through the industry?
My hobby, not to make anything sad, but my hobby turned into a storefront after I lost my two boys. And that's how I had the name Memories and Stitches. Somebody said, you're making all these memory quilts. People just poured to me. And, it's hard to understand that, okay, you just lost two little boys, but yet all these people are coming to you to make memory quilts. But it worked. It actually saved me. And that's how it all began, really, as far as a career out of it. So it went from the hobby of all that other mess to Memories and Stitches because of that. And then all the memorial quilts. They went to the Gold Star quilts and banners. And it progressed from, I literally, when I put my second 10 needle, multi-needle in my house, I had to put it on my kitchen island.
Wow.
And my husband said, get out. That's it. You've taken over the entire downstairs of the house. Get out. Go open a store.
Oh, go open a store. I'm like, wait a second. He was telling you to get the fuck out? Like, serious?
Yeah. And he pretty much, he said, go find you a store and open a store. So that's how I got my first location. And it was a child's boutique long arming store. So we did custom embroidery and the children's tutus and all the cute little shirts. And it's just so sweet. And I had a little granddaughter, so she'd come shopping from time to time. And so she'd get to leave with her hats and her little tutus and her little princess shirts.
So precious.
Yeah, and it went to a second location within a year. We did really, really well. And we just did really, really well. But my husband passed away. And I tried to hang in there, and I just couldn't do it, and said, I gotta go. And that's when I came to Florida, and that's how everything else opened up for me, because I was no longer a dealer, so I could go into the industry as an educator, and that's how I became. I was not a brother educator, but I taught a lot of brother machines online. Subscription. I had a subscription for the Luminaire. I have a Luminaire group on Facebook.
Okay.
And then it went into Handy Quilter National Educator. And now it's kind of gone social media, kind of thing. Who knew? I was the fly on the wall growing up. If you said boo to me the wrong way, I'd run off crying.
I feel like the person you are today is unrecognizable to that little child that you were back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I was a horrible, horrible introvert. Horrible. Yeah, it was bad. A lot of social anxiety. Oh, yeah. Now I'm just like, bring it on. Bring it
on. You got this. You're like powering through, right?
So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a journey. When I think I kind of get settled into routine in this industry, that door will close and something else opens up.
Yeah.
And so we're bringing memories and stitches back to life. We're bringing it. The website is being rebuilt.
Oh, okay.
We're bringing a lot of that back in. A lot of the custom stuff that I used to do eons ago is all coming back to life.
Wow. That must be a really big transition for you after this kind of transition to social media and kind of like a influencer, working for other companies and all that. And now you're kind of refocusing on your brand and your business, right?
I kind of didn't really have a choice.
Right.
But that's okay. I learned a lot while I was doing what I was doing. And if I hadn't done that, I don't think I could, because there's been so many changes from when I used to do it to now that I don't know if I hadn't done what I've done in between that, I probably wouldn't be successful because there's just so many changes. So
it's a never-ending kind of atmosphere. It's to me, it's really fascinating. Because I remember when I was one of the early birds to sign up for Facebook. Back then, you had to have a college email to sign up for Facebook when it first came around. Wow. Yeah, it was only for college kids. It was to see what college kids were doing on your campus and all that, and kind of hook it up, right? That's how Facebook started, and it's.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot, and just. I met with a group of ladies earlier today, and we were talking about like the demographic of quilters and all that kind of thing, and kind of talking about it. And for me, because I'm over here on Twitch, I have a very different kind of viewpoint on my side of the industry, right? Because I'm engaging with a lot of younger adults who... I have one person who, the youngest you can be, technically on Twitch is 13. And this person started hanging out in my chat when I first started streaming 7 years ago at 13. And now they are off at college doing a criminal justice program and all that kind of stuff. Wow. And they've grown through the community, and, so we have a lot of those kind of people coming through, and some of them are just hobbyists and kind of looking at it. They're not necessarily, really big. Hey, baby, you going to bed? All right, I love you.
Night, night.
Night, night, everyone says. But anyway, so, having those kind of younger people coming through and kind of interested in learning, and, how many times, me, I love Tula Pink. And if somebody gets me started and, what's that fabric you're working on? I go into a 20-minute tangent about this fucking awesome person that nobody really, people over here don't really understand that whole world, right? So, I'm almost like their ambassador into what quilting can be, right?
That's cool, though. Yeah, because the young minds and what today's fabrics are doing and everything is just it's just unbelievable what's being created now.
Right. Well, and there's a little bit of because my thing is I've been quilting since my mid-20s, And, you know, I know that's young for a lot of quilters who are just getting started and all that kind of thing. But, you know, I'm almost 40 now. And the average demographic is 62. And my question was, because I know we're kind of shifting, right? And things are generational, and, you know, baby boomers are getting older and millennials are kind of moving over into that transitioning age. But the idea is still not, like, talking to all these other business people, they still aren't reading the millennials and reading the younger generations into the conversation. Like, we're still, like, that odd man out, right? Because for every 20-year-old, there's at least 2 or 3 80-year-olds, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
So it's just kind of an interesting idea, and it's like, yeah, you got that now, but, like, give it 10, 15 years. Like, I get that, like, millennials are famous for not having money and probably won't be retiring anytime soon, which is not good news for the quilting community as a whole, but, you know. I don't know.
But you know what I've noticed? I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok.
Oh, shut up, Purple. Yes, 40. Yes, get... See, this is the problem with having quilter friends who are older than you. They make fun of you when you start...
And I think I'm older than all of us in that group.
I know.
I'm the oldest one, so...
Well, and I have nothing against anybody being whatever, but, like, I am valid in feeling older because I know everybody here... Doesn't matter how old you are, you get closer to that 40 number, and we all kind of, like, freak out a little bit in our head. We're like, ah, shit, what happened? Like, it's all downhill from here.
No, 40 was easy. 26 I hit my first crisis in age, because that was what I was supposed to have my midwifery license by the time I was 26. That didn't happen. I had my second child at 26. And that's okay. That's good. He's a pretty cool kid. And he's my little gamer and computer guru and all that good stuff. And the second one was turning 55. That one hurt me. That one hurt me. Yeah. And you know, it's okay now. Yeah. So the new 55 is 35, right?
Well, and somebody pointed out, they pointed out, hey, we may be 62, but don't call us old. We're all young in our heads. Don't call us old, because like the 62 now is not what 62 was 5 years ago. The amount of energy y'all got, you guys are running races around me. Like, I feel like such an old fart. Like, I hit 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I just want to go to sleep. No, I'm going to stay up and play video games for another 2 hours.
So, excuse me, I'm still battling that crud too. So
it doesn't want to shake, right? It just clings.
It just comes and goes. But yeah, so
you've been playing around on TikTok, yeah?
I have. And I'm just trying to see if I can kind of get anything going with that. And
that one's a little tricky.
It's kind of not my, you know,
it's not my cup of tea either. Because, like, the kind of interactions that TikTokers want, and you know, it's funny because, like, I love looking at numbers and, like, kind of nerding out on that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's apparent to everybody how big of a nerd I am.
You're a cute nerd, especially with that mermaid hair.
Yeah, I love it. I need to get it done. I got too many whites showing. But, like, at this point, it's like, why not post my reels on TikTok? Like, I'm doing it on YouTube anyway. And, you know, but it's just... TikTok is famously, because, like, I listen and I watch a lot of different things about, like, analytics in the industry and, like, what's going on. And, you know, there's a convention called VidCon that happened not too long ago. I think it was last year's VidCon. And typically it'll be people from YouTube that are, like, you know, creators and producing videos and things like that. And so they are creators, they're influencers, they're a personality, right? You're following that channel for that person, right? Kind of like Twitch is a little bit. Like, if you're following this channel, it's because you want to hear what I have to say, or at least you find me somewhat amusing, right? But with TikTok, I guess all these people from TikTok, these big people with like multi-million-dollar followers, they went to VidCon and did these meet and greets. And nobody was in line. Nobody showed up. Because with the thing with TikTok is it's a passive viewer, right?
Yeah.
Your viewer doesn't have to find you. And TikTok serves you up on a silver platter. And as soon as they watch you, they go to another one that's hand-selected by TikTok. So the creator doesn't matter on TikTok, right?
Yeah,
it's about... You hear people say, I love TikTok. You don't hear people say, oh, I love this person on TikTok. I love what this person is doing, right?
Now, there's a couple on there that I do like.
There's a couple.
And absolutely hilarious.
But I think that's few and far between, right? Because most people are posting cat memes and things like that. Typically, the kind of people that I'm following, like, there's a card maker that I really love that I'll pretty much only open TikTok to watch because, like, I enjoy his content and the kind of craft he makes, right? But TikTok is kind of killing the idea of an influencer or a creator as being the sole focus.
But it's also becoming, I've noticed over the past couple weeks, that it is just becoming a sales gimmick. It's becoming a
TikTok doesn't know how to monetize. TikTok does not know how to monetize. Not like YouTube. They've got their ad game premium. And even here on Twitch, they have a hard time for Twitch to actually make any money because, like, I have to run ads. People who are not subbed to my channel, they're going to get interrupted through this whole stream because they don't have... They're going to get stuck with ads because they're not, subscribed to this channel. So...
So what does that mean, subscribe? Is it like YouTube? You just hit subscribe and you're there? Is it?
So it's the same word. It's like you got to hit the subscribe, right? But as far as terminology means, so for here over on Twitch, you follow. Like I saw that you followed before stream, right? That means you're going to get my notifications when I go live and that kind of thing. And for YouTube, it's the join, or for YouTube to follow is to subscribe. Right? Now on YouTube, you're going to get those notifications when there's a new video. It's going to come into your subscriber feed, things like that. For over here, if you hit subscribe, it means you're becoming a part of the community. You like my content enough that you're going to give me like $5 for the month. And like, I get half of that. So like, hey, I made $2.50 and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But that's still support is support.
With everything that we do. Could you imagine the education that people could get for $5 a month?
I mean, as long as you know where to go, right? It's really important to be scrutiny about that because, like, not all content's created equal, right? But for over on YouTube, to do the same kind of thing, you got to hit a join button. And then that means you're part of their community. And for YouTube, you can make member-only content that only members who have joined the community and pay whatever amount you've set.
I didn't even know YouTube was doing that now.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing it for a while. And just like YouTube does live streams. But their chat doesn't exactly work as nicely as Twitch's chat. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a game of copy mouse kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very educational tonight. Thank you.
I try. I like talking about small business and that kind of stuff and like behind the scenes, because if somebody I watched hadn't been open about that kind of stuff, I wouldn't have learned, right? And like I want to give people tools if it's something they're interested in to have a well-informed idea of what they're getting into, right? I don't want to tell you, oh, everything's fantastic over here. Come on over to Twitch and you're gonna make tons of money, hands over feet, and never work it. Yeah,
you gotta have it.
No. I'd rather like the pros and the cons, right? And be able to make a good educated guess on whether or not it's a good fit for you, right?
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, any questions from anybody after all that?
Chat, this is where you have to actually get up and type on your keyboard. I know y'all are lurkers, and I love your faces, but let's get some questions. I know you're out there. I have a question. Because the block that you have done for Sprout is called hand weave. What inspired you to design this block for the Sprout Quilt Challenge?
Well, as a skill builder, one of the things is everybody's scared to death of Y seams.
They really are.
And they are scared to death.
I'm terrified.
And it's so flippin' easy.
You say that, but they still look intimidating.
It is really, really incredible easy. And in fact, that is one of the one thing I've got behind on. I thought I had it done. I thought I had it posted, but apparently YouTube didn't quite like it, and I didn't know it. So I had to go back and change a couple things. And so that is going to be going up, is the video that I had done of this entire block.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice.
And in that block, I show 2 different ways of how to do Y seams.
Okay.
Okay, so which is actually, it's kind of, it wasn't planned this way, but it worked out this way very nicely for Lori, for her block, because it is a bit more advanced with Y seams than this one. This is your beginner, but I gave you the easiest possible way to do a Y seam.
Right.
And it's a no fails. It's going to work as long as you do what I show you, versus going a little bit advanced. So when you go into Lori's block, you can have it done that quick.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think you're seeing that on Instagram. People are, even day 1, day 2, people were posting Lori's block, and she's actually saying thank you in the chat, so she appreciates that.
I missed it.
What's that?
Did I miss these? Did I not?
What?
With Instagram, you were talking about Instagram with the blocks?
Yeah, people are posting Lori's block already.
Oh, awesome.
Her block went up on Monday.
Right.
Yep.
I haven't been on. I haven't really been on.
Gotcha.
I have been so busy trying to get this. Ready?
I'm ready.
One more thing added.
Okay.
My brain is like, I can't learn nothing else. I'm done, right?
Uh-oh.
There's nothing left, right? What does Krista do? Starting another new adventure.
Oh, Lord. I thought you were going to say the email thing, because the email thing is like the bane of my existence right now.
Yeah, that one is. But yes, I have decided to get into sublimation and direct print the garment.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I want to be one of those that does all the fun, cute quilt t-shirts.
Okay.
Yep, that's why I'm getting into it.
So like a print-on-demand kind of thing.
Are
you doing a screen print or iron-on?
It's gonna right now. It's kind of the way I'm going about. Well, one is sublimation, and that's going to be more my memorial, more memory items.
Right.
Then there's the direct to print, so it's going to go directly on the shirts. Okay, but it's not screen printing. It's there's the heat transfer kind.
Yeah, and iron-on. Yeah.
Then you have your then of course you have your vinyl, that you can do, which we all kind of play around with anyways. But I have another technique that I've not put out there yet, and I've been playing with it off and on for about 2 years now. And it is going to be for home deck, and I've kind of figured out how to incorporate a little bit of it with clothing.
Okay.
And that's coming out here very, very soon, because I finally got the guts and the courage to kind of put it out.
Takes
there.
a little bit of a kick in the butt to kind of get you going, right?
So, well, it's that that kind of, it's that confidence,
right?
Because it's something new and not sure if I'm absorbing it and doing it quite right. So I had to put a lot of testers out there because I wanted to make sure what I put out there on the market didn't fade, didn't wash off, didn't. I wanted to make sure it was going to last.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be showing a lot of that here soon too.
Ooh, you guys got to keep an eye out. Are you going to be posting that all on your Instagram handle you have now, the Memories and Stitches, or is that a new
everything's going to stay under Memories and Stitches.
Okay. Cool. So you guys hear that? Keep an eye out on Instagram, and you got to hear first. There's some fun stuff coming.
Painting on our fabrics and all that.
Yeah, multimedia. That's a fun one.
which you would be fabulous with your drawing skills. I draw stick people. I am the
I've done a
queen
little
of
bit
it.
of it, but I don't typically work with paints when I do multimedia. I typically use pastels or watercolor pencils.
Oh, I love watercolor. You know how I get my designs?
How?
I stick them in my Scan and Cut. I put my little watercolor pencils in there and I let it draw it out, and then I do my work.
Ah.
Because I can't draw.
I don't believe that. Everybody can draw.
No, really. I'm serious. I'm the queen of stick people.
But that's
stick
still
cat,
drawing. That's still drawing. Like, I know people, like, are like, oh, I can't draw, I can't. No, honestly, you can. You know what made me think that I could actually do quilt designing? Is I was seeing what people were producing with Prim. Like, I saw what people were, like, designing for applique Prim, and I'm like, this is it? Screw this, I could do better than this. And then, like, oh, there's a lot more to this than just drawing. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, I just remembered something.
Uh-oh.
And you're just going to be like, oh, God, really?
What do you got for us?
I digitized as an applique. He's not quite done yet.
Oh.
I got to put a few little things, but Bart.
Ah, nice.
He's so cute.
I'm excited to see. You going to post that on Instagram when he's ready?
Yeah, I'll get your approval. I'll get your go ahead when you see and then we'll put him up there. Mm-hmm.
Nice. That'll be nice.
Yeah,
well, and then you have something else that you are going to be sharing with everybody. You've been working on something today. You wanna share with everybody?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that, guys. Isn't that just freaking adorable?
So I thought it would be just something kind of cool. If so what we're going to do with these, we kept it simple. And I did tell the group that there's one other design that you did where the Sprout Challenge goes in between the little vines.
Okay.
If I can get the time to do it, I will try to do that as well. It'll
I
make
think this one's just perfect. I don't think you have to do another one.
Isn't it just kind of sweet, though? Can you see it?
Yeah,
there it goes.
I can see it. Yeah, when you put it in front of your nose, that's what I always tell everyone, because like I have a hard time too of like where if you put it in front of your nose, you know that it's getting picked up.
Gotcha.
Everybody's saying in the channel that it looks amazing, so yeah, it's adorable.
It's super super simple. So what we're gonna do with that, is it okay to tell them?
Yeah, tell them.
Okay. So if you own an embroidery machine, we're gonna release the file when we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll release the files. I can do probably 99% of all the embroidery formats out there.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that there can't just be one unified embroidery file. Like.
But I think there's a couple new ones out there, and I'm not so sure I have access to the new ones.
Okay.
So I'm not. That's what I'm saying about the high 90s. I can do. If you do, so don't despair. If you do not have an embroidery machine, email Sandrasa, put it in one of the chat groups or something like that, or email memoriesandstitches@yahoo.com, and make sure it's not the letter N, it's memoriesInstitches.com, or excuse me, at Yahoo. And then but all you're going to be paying for is the fabric, the work, and your shipping.
How much? How much are you charging for the label?
$12.
$12. That's reasonable. And then are you charging for shipping too? Then
it's really, long as you're local here in the States, no, because it's going to be very inexpensive. Now this is all going to be on micromiller Fairy Frost.
I love Fairy Frost.
This is not muslin. This is the micromiller Fairy Frost.
Nice.
Yes, this is really, really nice fabric.
Yeah, and we will make sure to put an email out in the QDC email chain that we have going. We'll put an email out that way. We can link to your page for them to purchase it. And then if they want to also respond through that email, they can too. So we'll make sure that when you've got everything ready, we'll put that email out and everybody can have at it. You're going to be very busy, I have a feeling, with all the labels to be printed.
do you have a number? How many people have actually? Well, I know our signups and the whole deal, but as a consistent, how many people have we had with us?
That's a little hard to kind of pinpoint because we do have some people I've been having reach out through email that aren't on Instagram who are still doing it. But as far as Instagram, I mean, we had 400 people sign up, right? And I can see the consistency, like, every email is getting at least a 60% open rate and click rate.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? So there's a lot of people who are actually going through, getting the files, whether or not they're posting or not, that's a...
Right,
but, on Instagram, we have a really good community of, like, I think 14 or 15 people who are consistently, like, almost every other day posting about it. So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I think is really good for our first time putting anything out together. So
it's been so much fun. You guys have Sandrasa, you have been such a little worker bee.
It's a team effort. Are you kidding? There's a lot of us. We all pitch in and we all do our things. I mean,
dragging along. I've been the anchor. You guys are like, come on.
You've been busy. Don't write yourself off. You've had a lot on your plate. So
I have to say, this team that put this quilt together, and that's. And what they're doing with it. Some of the designers, what they're doing with their quilts is just beautiful and amazing. And the goal was to inspire people and have fun, and hopefully we've done
and learn, right? That was the big thing. And I'm excited for next week because we have at least 3 people who all have some sort of even though the blocks are done. You guys don't think that we're done yet. We still have big prizes next week. But we have people who are putting out borders and who are putting out quilting tips and their designs and how the whole thing goes together. And so there's still plenty of stuff to cover and talk about. So
quilting tips. Right up my alley.
I know. We got so many talented long armors, man. Like, you guys are freaking awesome.
We do. Yeah, we really do. Wow.
It makes it very hard to not want to get a long arm when I have so many little bees like buzzing in my ear. Oh, look how great this long arm machine is. Oh, look at what I can do. Oh, look how great this is. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Come play on the long arm, Sandrasa. And I'm like, gosh, dang it.
But you do very well. You do very well whipping your little stuff out there.
Yeah, I got a Janome over here that hasn't let me down yet. So
most Janomes aren't going to let you down.
No, no, that's true. Janomes are pretty good. I like them.
I didn't know much about Janome for a long time, and I only had experience with Janome many years ago, and I was teaching embroidery classes at a local quilt shop. And there was a lady there. She was actually a nun.
Oh, wow.
And she was there, and she was the sweetest thing. But she had a little Janome Deco embroidery machine that was a pile of mess. And I felt so bad for her. And I just thought Janomes had to be the worst machines on the market, but then when I actually became a dealer, I got talked into bringing Janomes in. I fought it for months and months and months.
Because that nun had tainted you on Janomes.
Exactly. So what they did, what happened, there was a lady that was a dealer a little over an hour from me, and she had been in business for over 25 years, and she retired. And I said, oh, thank you. So I did pull Janome in just so I could get their service repairs.
Right.
Because I thought, oh, yeah, we're going to do great with service repairs, right?
Because it's such a terrible machine.
And then we went to the new dealer training and conference, and that's the year they released the 9400.
Ah, I got you.
Guess what is sitting next to me on my table right now?
And it's the 9400. See, I have the 8900.
That's a nice machine. I have the M17 sitting right here. Right
okay. You've got the Cadillac. So at Market, I was looking real close at the new, because, you know, Bernina's got it, and, you know, Bernina's known to be like the Cadillac of sewing machines and that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, let's go take a look at what Jannomi's got, since that's what I'm used to. And man, the free motion stitch regulator looked really nice.
ASR.
Yeah.
And yes, now I have a lot of experience teaching with the BSR for Bernina.
Right.
Okay. Then that's why I have the M17, is because of the teaching and things like that with the ASR.
Okay.
That the responsiveness on that machine, if you're using free motion, if you're using it for ruler work, which they have the ASR ruler work foot, it is so, you don't get that drag, you don't get that delay, you don't, it is so smooth, it is so, I'm like, oh yes. So the big baby back here in the back that's kind of covered up, which is where the Infinity in Pro Stitcher sits, which is handy quilters. Losing me. These things will not stay in my ears. And so I will.
You need a headset.
I have one, but it's like.
You get used to it.
Do you? I've never worn them before. I listen to my audiobooks in it. So I will have my Luminaire running with the embroidery, and I'll be sitting and piecing or free motion quilting or something on the M17.
Nice. We do have a question in the chat. Purple asks that they want to add a serger to their sewing machine family. What would you recommend?
There's okay. Budget.
Yeah, that's the thing. What's your budget, Purple? Well, what would you let's say what would be a good budget intro serger for somebody who's not, and then what would be like the good quality one? Yeah.
Okay. So the low end one, and actually I just had a bunch of videos released off of this little machine, is the Baby Lock Vibrant.
Okay.
And here's why. First of all, Baby Lock I was introduced to Baby Lock back in 1989, actually when I was still living in England.
Wow, okay.
Okay. Yeah, their sergers have always been the best. Okay. Now, what I like about the Vibrant is, even though it's not an air threader, that machine actually opens all the way up in the front. So you're not standing on your head to thread that upper looper.
Oh, okay.
And because it opens up totally and you can thread it so easy and so fast. Okay, so, and because of that, the way it opens up, and it's a heavy machine. Okay, so and I've got videos I don't know if they've actually been released or not, where I've done
over on YouTube or at the last place you were working at?
Who I was with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they've released them or not. So I've done some with beads. I've done, or the little pearls, strings of pearls.
Yeah.
So that, as far as a very beginner one, that's the one I would recommend. Now, Janome came out with the 2000D, which is an air threader several years ago. That is the bomb.
Air threader. What is air threader?
So your upper and lower,
yeah.
You no longer have to thread them. It's a poof. Okay, Baby Lock is the one that actually started this many, many, many years ago with the air threader machines or sergers. Okay, when that patent came off, Janome had it. They were ready for it. So they came. Yeah, Baby Lock is still almost. I'm not sure if they're still number one with sergers, but Baby Lock is still the top line of sergers. Okay, because they have self tension inside the machines, the air threading. They're just phenomenal sergers. They really are. I waited for about 10 years to get the Ovation. Yeah, and that was an $8,000 serger when it was released many years ago. and I don't use a serger that much to ever justify it.
Right.
So actually, I got it used, and I love it. But then the Triumph came out, which is their top of the line now. Oh my God, that thing it outdoes the Ovation. It's beautiful. Okay, so that's kind of the thing with Baby Lock. Then Janome has come out with an air threader, which is a 2000D.
Okay.
Believe it or not, if I'm going to use a serger for a lot of work, production work, I'm going to go after that Janome 2000D over my Baby Locks. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine had given me a Viking Husky that was a combination serger and I've lost the word. It's a serger and my Ovation's a combo too, and I can't think of the name. But anyways, it does both. It does the flat lock. I think it's not. It'll come to me in a few minutes. So that thing was a booger. Okay, it was like that. It was like that Deco embroidery machine.
Yeah.
Okay, and but Janome's 2000D. It's a little bit more expensive than that 2000 or that Baby Lock Vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the air threader. It is a workhorse. Now, on to Bernina. Okay. Bernina does have, and I am not a Bernina fan, I used to not be. Okay. There's a couple that I do like. All right. I actually own one now.
Oh, okay.
I do. It's a 475, the K Facet edition.
Yeah.
A little blue. Yes.
Mm-hmm, with the little flowers on it.
It's so sweet. It actually is a great travel machine. But anyways, so there is the Bernina. Not the low end. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
But even the low end, like, machines are so expensive. Like, it just... Like, no wonder, like, our demographic has to have so much disposable income because there's no real middle ground to come in. Because, like, you're either buying a cheap singer at, like, Joann's or Walmart or somewhere like that, or you're dropping a couple grand on... I think I dropped $3,000 on my 8900 back when it first came out.
Easy.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah, and Juki's make really nice sergers. Now, I do not...
They're workhorses.
Yeah, those Juki sergers are really, really nice. And I've not come across one I don't like. And I've had to do all of them. But so I would say if you want bells and whistles, I would do a Baby Lock every day of the week. Okay. And then the an L80, 890 serger combo Bernina, but that's way up there. You're talking $8,000. I'm not, I just don't. I can't justify it. But I would say Baby Lock, the Janome 2000D, and the Juki, and those three right there, you will be totally happy with.
Okay, that's not bad.
Hope that helps.
Yeah, Purple. Did that cover your question? I think that covered quite a bit, honestly. I mean, that's the nice thing about talking about somebody who is so familiar with machines, because, like, I'm not familiar with machines. Like, that's not... Purple says it does. It sure does, she says.
I don't know. Now, Viking Husqvarna, I've been in classes where I was teaching, and students have owned them, but I've never taught on them. I've never learned them. That's all I can really tell you, other than that one experience.
Right.
Brother, Baby Lock, Janome.
So out of
Bernina,
all of the machines, what brand is your favorite? Like, can you pick a favorite?
I used to, hands down. I'll tell you what. I was a Baby Lock snot.
Were you?
For many, many years. You have your Bernina attitude owners up here. Honey, I exceeded them with Baby Lock. That's how bad it was.
But isn't Baby Lock and Bernina, like, made in the same factory?
No. That's Baby Lock and brother. Brother
Okay.
makes the
Yeah, Oshemi says he has a
embroidery.
brother. He's got a simple little brother machine. Is that really a brother? Because it looks so dinky. Yeah.
Who is that?
Oshemi, yeah, that's my partner. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, they're little workhorses.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I have to say, all right, it's going to be depending on what I'm doing. If I am embroidering, I am not going to touch nothing but a brother baby lock. Okay. Technology, number 1. Density, quality of stitches, number 2. Okay. Now, Genomi's gotten a lot better with their embroidery. They've really been kicking it up a lot. But Brother Baby Lock smokes everybody with embroidery. Hands down. Technology. Bernina has some aspects that Brother Baby Lock doesn't have that is really, really awesome, like pinpoint placement and things like that.
Right.
And Bernina has come a long way with their embroidery as well.
Well, and they're trying to up their game because they're trying to appeal to the cosplayers now.
Yeah.
Because I know they have the Burnett line, which I've been hearing more and more about. I don't know how good of a line
Burnett's
it is.
Been out for a little while. Yeah, they've been out for a little while. But so my favorite machines, hand down, is embroidery is going to be Brother Baby Lock. Sewing, I'm almost always gonna. I tend to sit at the Luminaire first, but I've gotten to where I'm on my Janome more for piecing.
Okay.
And sewing for the Janome, because the feeding system is very, very well done.
Yeah, it is.
Very well done. Long arming, handy quilter, hands down, and I have worked on every long arm machine on the market.
So you like the handy quilter? I think Adele was also talking about handy quilter. Because I know Shemi, he's thinking about doing the Anova. That's what he's kind of been looking at. Because I know Stitch has an Anova, and she is really happy with it.
Yeah, I have been on them. And it has more of an industrial feel,
right?
With the Anova and the Gamels and things. And I've been on Gamels. I've been on all of them. The other ones, it's kind of more of a homey feel. It's kind of a more. It just depends on what you like. You know, it's just. I started with handy quilter when they first came out, where they clamped onto the tables, the frames, and you put your own sewing machine on there. Way back then.
Way back in the day.
And then I upgraded to their when they came out with their own machine. And I've just never, ever had a day's trouble with those machines. Wow. You know, and you know, when I became a dealer for them, the value and the quality of that company is just outstanding. And so, yeah, that's kind of so between the two, that's kind of, you know.
Had to make you pick one. That's I'll settle for the combo brother baby lock. So, you know.
Yeah, it used to be easy. Brother baby lock, hands down. It's gotten a little bit harder since then.
Yeah. Well, and the machines have come a long way, like you said. It's hard not to kind of be like, okay, I can be happy with any of these.
Now, to put a binding on a quilt, I'm on that Janome in a heartbeat. I don't even think about my Luminero anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, the bindings go through these bigger Janomes like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy with my Janome, honestly, and
yeah, I know that machine. It's a good machine. Yeah.
I'm happy with it. It hasn't gone wrong for me yet. Knock on wood.
I know. I'm sitting here and I look at all these machines and I'm thinking I would be in so much trouble if I didn't have a built-in tech into this house with the machines that I own.
Right? Like, my machine is so overdue for me to take in and get it serviced, but it just keeps trudging along.
It will, but you'll pay for it if you don't.
Hey, listen, as soon as I slow down,
I'll give you a backup machine so that way there is no downtime.
I only have the one machine. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Well, I have one Janome left from when I was a dealer, and it is so cute. And it's the only reason why I haven't sold it is because it's the Magnolia 7330.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It is
yeah,
there
yeah.
with I just think it's the sweetest little machine. Okay, it's so cute, and it's still sitting back there in its box,
Wow.
and it really needs a good home.
Oh.
It needs a good home that would love it and cherish it.
Anyone in chat need a machine? Wait, Chris has got a machine for you. It needs a good home.
Well, if that's the case, I've got a brother back there it's not the serger, it's the other one that I can't
It's the other
what
one. So she's got many machines that need good homes.
Just two.
Just two. I mean, that's a lot still. That's a lot.
Not compared. Hey, when I closed my stores, I think I still had like 15 machines I still needed to sell.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was. It was a lot. So, just little by little, they've been trickling away.
Yeah.
I don't advertise it too much, but yeah, they do need to go. I've got oodles and oodles of fabric that needs to go, threads that need to go. I've got more Floriani threads than I will never use in a lifetime.
Floriani? I'm not familiar with that company.
Embroidery thread,
Oh,
and it is beautiful. Okay. That's why beautiful. I've got both of my stores were fully stocked with the Floriani embroidery thread when I closed them, and it all came with me. So they need to go away.
So because got all the goods. She's going to be your thread dealer and your machine dealer and
in fabric.
Yeah, you might as well just open another store at this point.
I literally could, but but you know, I'm too old. It's a
lot of work.
We'll do it online.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, staying up till 2:00 in the morning doing taxes and payroll, and you know,
don't mention taxes. I still gotta do taxes. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm past all that. So I'm having fun. I loved having my stores, but they took over my life.
Yeah.
You know, and they really, really did. As much as I loved my customers, but they took over my life, and I didn't like that. And I love what I'm doing. It's as long as the ADD stays away and the squirrels stay away, it's all good.
Yeah. Just keep the bad things out and it'll be fine.
That's it. I got the puppy that stays here next to me on the floor. I forget every now and then and step on her.
Oh no! Poor puppy.
She's a little miniature schnauzer. Her name is Bella. She actually grew up in the quilt shops. Mm-hmm. So she was a very little socialite butterfly.
Well-socialed, yeah.
And she used to be, not so much now. Now she's got the old lady attitude, like. But I'll be like, mind your biscuits, and she'll be like.
Uh-oh, Mom's yelling at me. I better be good.
We'll tell her. We'll be like, you better mind your own business, and she'll go.
That's cute. That's really cute.
She's a little sweetheart. She's a little liver party, and she's my first tiny dog.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, she's a little hot mess.
I love little dogs. I am not a big fan of big dogs.
Oh, I love big dogs. Miss them. My biggest one was a Great Pyrenees. His name was Goliath.
Yeah, I would say.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he was actually a registered pet therapy dog.
Okay.
He was awesome. Yeah. But in the summertime, when we got him in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. We transferred to North Carolina. In the summertime, if he had been asleep for a while on the carpet, he'd get up, and there'd be a whole silhouette of him left on the floor, and I'd be like, bring out the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
So he was high maintenance, but he was a good boy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have a cat right now, and I don't know. We'll probably take a break from animals for a little while because I'm tired of finding cat hair and all the hair over everything, and I'm working with like black fabric right now in the block I'm working on, and it is constant lint roll. Might as well take stock out in it. Like, holy moly.
I miss my kitty head so bad. so bad. When we moved here, all they knew was the farm and the barn and everything, and I knew bringing them here, they would have to stay indoors full time, and that would destroy their little personalities, as well as destroy my house. So they stayed at the barn with the animals, and and stuff like that, and they're still doing good after all these years. But yeah, I do miss my kitties. So Sandra, what do you think? You've learned more about me tonight than you have in the past year and a half.
I mean, you've been a busy woman. Like, to be fair, you've been very busy. And I don't know if chat knows this or not. I know I've talked maybe a little bit about it, but whole reason why I even started printing patterns was because of you. Because you were working at a shop and you wanted to get our patterns in there, and I was like first up, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I do this? What am I? Because like I had no idea what you were talking about with like I want to feature your patterns, and I'm like, okay, here's the link for the PDF. No, I need I'm like, shit, what do I do now? I better learn this. I better go.
That was so cool. I was so excited when they finally released your kits, and the kits that was made up for you and your patterns and stuff like that. And from what I understand, they sold them out.
I don't know. I know I think it was you that mentioned it. They did an auction or something. They were getting rid of crap. And like the patterns were there.
It was just it's their weekly Facebook sell.
Right.
And yeah, but from what I understand, your patterns sold out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Yeah. So, but you make such fun, great patterns. You really do.
I don't know about that, but
I do.
I like them.
I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I like the tradition. The traditionals. So this color fabric that we did in this collection.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, they've lost their flipping minds." No.
Yeah, Amanda said the same thing. No. She hates. She hates the. She doesn't hate. Hate is a strong word. I don't hate it, but it's not her jive.
Yeah. And I look at it now. I love this blue. Okay, the blue and the pink here. This one here in the center.
Yeah, the lavender.
Here we go. I love those. Okay, right. And I look at some of the other ones, and I'm like, okay. So it was good for me because it made me expand outside of that box a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like I did the Dresden plate one, okay, and I love it. I love Dresden plate. So we took some of the traditional and made it more modern. I love how she layered them like that.
Yeah.
I made my center square poofy, so it pops up, gives it some dimension.
So kind of trapunto a little, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Which I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And, and I've been having fun putting them all together. But I stand back and I look at it. And for me, when I look at the quilts and how people's got all their blocks done and stuff, I'm like, where's my sunglasses? But it's because it's so busy. And I'm just,
you're not supposed to talk bad about our quilt during our challenge, Chris.
No. But you didn't let me finish. Even though there's so much going on, it is still, because of the colors and the uniquenesses of the pattern, it's still very pretty. And I cannot wait to get mine done.
Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it a little bit. And
yeah, it just took me a while before I could get it really going because I just wasn't home. If I was home, I was sleeping. So I can't even begin to tell you how many times this stuff went on the road with me. And I would come in from filming or doing what I was doing, and I'd be asleep by 7:30 to be up by 4 to do what I needed to do for the next day.
That's nice.
So I'm having a blast finally being able to get all my blocks done.
And to sleep.
I know. I'm so excited for the last 3 nights. I have slept through the night like a little kid. Instead of waking up at 1, 3, 4, I've actually slept until the alarm gone off. I'm like,
that sounds really nice. I got a 3-year-old that crawls into bed at like 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. And I'm like, oh, I just, where's the snooze button, kid? I just want a little more. Just let me sleep.
My son was 5:30 on the dot every morning. And back then I was like, seriously, kid?
Right.
And now I'm like, about 4:30, typically I'm up and I already had a cup of coffee and stuff, but not these past few mornings. But yeah, so we get to have fun next with Lori's block.
Yeah.
And then putting it all together. And I can't wait to see how people put these blocks, or put their whole quilt together.
Yeah, it's been really nice seeing the couple people that have put, I don't know if they're put together yet, but they're up on their design walls, all done.
Mm-hmm.
And some even have their filler blocks already picked. So, yeah.
I haven't even gotten
We've had a lot of good filler blocks this week, or this event. So, it's been really nice seeing the differences in all of that.
Very cool, very cool. And so outside of all of your appliques, your English paper piecing.
Okay, you cut out a little bit. You cut out a bit when your thing fell out.
So outside of your creating your patterns, your English paper piecing, and your gaming, what else do you like to do?
That's a good question. I mean, I really don't have too much time for much else. I mean, I'm a big gamer in general. My partner is a huge board game fan. So we have people over. We try to have people over every Saturday. IRL and do board game nights, typically.
Very fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah, you know, my mom was a really big people person when I was a kid, and, you know, she was a big church goer and that kind of thing, so there was always somebody over on the weekends or during the week playing rummy or playing charades or something. There was always a game night happening. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do board games and then we do D&D. So, like, every week we're playing D&D. We've got a group that we've been playing for 5 years now.
Oh, wow. So what is that?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm old. I'm not up on the
You're old, stuff. But so is D&D. Don't give me that shit.
Oh, I know that. But I just didn't know that's what they were calling it now.
Oh, no, they've been calling that for
I remember when it came out. I remember when it came out. My son, and he was in all that stuff. I don't know what he's doing now, but I know he still games. He's got monitors everywhere and like this whole.
I've got my control panel. I've got 3 monitors here, and then I've got the monitor behind me, and yeah,
that's him. Yep. So.
I mean, honestly, once you go to multi monitors, it's hard not to, especially like because I do a lot of my designing down here. So like I can have Illustrator open there, and I can have InDesign here, and then I can have Discord over there, and music and everything.
Yeah, I do keep another monitor on because it's a whole lot bigger. So a lot of times I will have my laptop set up for one thing, my monitor for something else, and it's actually easier to digitize. I can see the fine details where I can get in there and do any shading and stuff like that on the big monitors, and makes it a lot. I do like that. And then when we're all meeting on Discord, I'll put everybody on the big one. Yeah. So I can see everybody. You guys can't see me, but I can see you.
Yeah. And Shami, do you remember how big this center monitor is? Because my center monitor is my biggest one. It's a 4K monitor. So. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I can see things really nice and crisp, which is nice. Very cool. Because, you know, my eyes aren't as strong as they used to be. Ah. I know. Heaven forbid my eyes age, right?
Mine did. I just had to get new lenses a few months ago for the first time in like 10 years. All of a sudden, I'm like, I couldn't see. I was having to take my glasses off to read fine print because I couldn't read with my glasses on.
Oh, yeah. Well, like when I applique and like I used to be able to like hand sew and do all that kind of stuff in any light, you know, because, you know, you're younger and you don't. Even though you're told you should have a light on, you're going to wreck your eyes. You're like, oh, no, whatever you're smoking. And now I'm like, oh crap, I'm using black material and a black thread. I can't see where anything's at right now. Shit.
I bought, and it's not put together yet, but I was been trying to learn to knit. Okay. I can crochet, but I don't know how to knit. And I started collecting these dolls. And I decided, because they're so tiny, they're very little. And crochet is not, it's just too big of a stitch for them.
Too chunky.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, and I've seen these beautiful knit sweaters these people are putting on these, and they are
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are the higher end dolls and stuff. So they're not the American Girl dolls things, but these are, they're collector dolls. And so I started making little dresses for them and putting some little embroidery on them, and which is just something else to do, right? So I decided to learn how to knit. And I actually got my tension and my stitches. They're looking really, really pretty. But I was fighting at night. I couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy cow. And, so that's what kind of caught the thing. I found I was doing better without my glasses on.
Oh.
But I had to have more light. Mm-hmm. So I bought one of these, like, round things. It's a light, but it's also a magnifier, because when
I know what you're talking about. My mom has one of those. I used to have one of those really nice ones. You get them at like Joann's and stuff, where it's the armed light that comes over. And
yeah,
it's the bright, yeah. I need one out here, because when I moved, I didn't bring it, and I'm like, man, I wish I had that.
Yeah,
right
because
now.
When you're dealing with that real fine, thin yarn and those little teeny, skinny little needles,
yeah,
boy, I'm telling you, yeah, I'm like. This reminded me, it's like, now I remember why I quit making bridal dresses. I hated that fiddly stuff.
Yeah.
I hated those.
Well, and my fingers, like, it's even getting hard to do English paper piecing, because, like, my joints just don't want to...
They're aging.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I mean, I'm supposed to have surgery on my wrist, so, it's one of those things where it's like,
The last thing, outside of my mom saying bye when I left her at the hospital, the last conversation her and I had, she was kind of in her own little world for a little bit with hallucinations and stuff. And all of a sudden, she turned and she looked at me, and she goes, "When did you get here?" And I just kind of smiled. I said, "Oh, I've been here for a little bit, 3 days." I didn't tell her that. She goes, "You know what?" She goes, "Getting older sucks. It is not for sissies."
No, it's really not.
No, Mama, it's not. That was my last good laugh with her, because that's all I could do was laugh.
Aww.
And then, she went back in her own. She goes, now my mom, she could have a mouth like a sailor. Okay, my mom was over here. She was the wild child. I was the old woman, conservative. I would look at her and I'm like, Mama, that is really inappropriate. When I'm like 10, 11 years old, I'm telling my mom this stuff, right? And she's in intensive care, and she's like, and it's really quiet, and it's so funny. It's a sweet, bitter type memory, but she goes, "Do you hear all those blinky blink noises? Blinky blink neighbors are there. I'm just so fed up with these blinky blink neighbors." And there's no sounds. It's quiet. It was the quietest ICU floor I've ever been on. It was actually eerie quiet. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Mama. They kind of just don't know what you can do with them. So when you get going and you get all excited, you're like, oh, I sit back and I think about my mom, and I'm like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I can't help it. I am who I am.
That's right. So that's why sometimes you see me get to smiling and stuff. I get to thinking about my mom.
Aw, that's really
I'll
sweet.
be like, oh my God. She didn't care. She was 5'2" and she did not care.
My grandma is kind of the same way. She just turned 90 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
She was the first person who ever, like, I had my first drink with her. I don't even remember how old I was. I was definitely not even close.
Old
but
enough.
it was just a little Kahlua, you know what I mean? And I had an older cousin, so it was like, that's what they were doing. I'm like, oh, what's that, Grandma? Oh, here, it's like chocolate milk. Yeah. It's like, okay. Oh, this is
I
good.
used to love Kahlua. I used to drink Kahlua, and margaritas were my 2 drinks back in the day.
Oh, man. My partner makes a really good, like, Kahlua shake.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really
I used
good.
to pour it on my ice cream.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too. I
Mhm.
sometimes would do it on... I still have some over in the cabinet. I might have to do that tonight. I'd pour it in my coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
just plain Jane in my coffee. Just way to go.
Yeah. You know, everybody likes Bailey's and cream in their
Yeah,
coffee.
it's
But
okay. It's a
it's
little
like,
bitter.
it's okay. I prefer Kahlua.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't had it in a year, so.
You might have to pick some up.
You know, I wished I could. Since that wreck, which is what took me off the road,
Yeah.
it caused a lot of nerve damage, even in my feet.
Right.
And I have found that I had to give up tequila, my margaritas.
Yeah.
I had to give up, my Chardonnay, and because it sets neuropathy off of my feet so bad I can't walk the next day. It'll take 2 or 3 days before I can walk. Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry.
But I can drink rum.
I mean, I just
I've
finished
never
some
been a
rum,
rum
so, you know.
You too.
Yeah,
So
some Kraken.
I
love Kraken rum.
Really, I've never have, and we were out and about. Some friends from North Carolina. She became a friend. She was a customer, and we become real good friends. And they came down to get one of my machines that I still had left. And so that was her 3rd big machine she had bought from us. And we were sitting down here, and here in Pensacola, we have absolutely beautiful beaches. Beautiful beaches, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we're sitting there. I said, well, I can't have my tequila because I got to walk tomorrow. And she's like, have a pina colada. She goes, do you like pina coladas? And I said, I haven't had one of those in so long I can't even tell you. I said, let's try it. And yeah, I didn't have any effect. But yes, the story is, so we're sitting there on the beach, sitting back and doing this. Mm-hmm. Just watching the waves. Watching all.
Now that sounds like my kind of retirement. Like, I miss the ocean really bad. Like, SoCal girl, grew up, like, my summers, we were at the beach. Like, all summer. That was
I couldn't do it when I was a kid, growing up in Texas. Because I'd burn like a piece of bacon.
Oh, I burned. I had some really bad memories of, like, this area burning and, like, the scarring and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you learn really quick to put on your sunscreen.
Yeah, it's really odd, because I went to Naples for about 6 months, and I couldn't stay there because I could walk out of a building, and by the time I got to my car, I could feel my skin sizzling because the sun is so intense. I'm like, I can't do this. And but when I lived in California for a few years, and I could be outside all day long there and never burn. I had a
You just had to worry about when the clouds are out, because that's when you really burn because of the UV. Yeah. So it's the same thing here in Colorado, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Colorado's beautiful.
It is.
Never lived there, but I've been through there many times.
I'm
but
really
it's
happy being out here. It reminds me a lot of living in California, because, I lived in Pennsylvania for 12, 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Northwest, and I lived in central New York and that kind of thing. So, like, I got a lot of that kind of more rural, foresty, like, the trees are weeds and you have to, like, attack the trees to get them out of your yard. Yeah. But, as nice and lush and green as it was, and it was really nice and not too humid, it just, like, there wasn't much to do. And because it's all Rust Belt out there, like, it's a very depressed, even though you don't really think about it, but, like, when you look back at it, it's like, there's a mentality that comes with that. There's, a hopelessness that's kind of underlined because there's not much to lift you up out there. Whereas, like, out here, things are really expensive and, like, people struggle. Like, we're all struggling everywhere, right?
Everywhere now.
But there's so much more feeling of pride in your home, or pride in your community, or this, because there's hope, and that there's opportunity for you, right? That's, I think, the biggest difference.
So pretty. You know, it's just so pretty. And it's not the other places aren't. It's just different, and it has its uniqueness to it. You know, and I've been so lucky that I've been able to go all over the states, except for certain parts. Like Maine is one that I've always wanted to go to, and I've been so close, but haven't made it yet.
I'm
and
a
I've
big
not
lobster
been to
fan,
Michigan.
so going to Maine was like really nice.
I bet it was really good.
Yeah, I went with my grandma when it was my senior trip before I started senior year. My grandma took me up and down the East Coast in her motorhome. And,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, the East Coast is funny because when we moved to North Carolina, I was so disappointed in the beaches there. And I'm like, man, this really sucks. Everybody's like, we can go to Wilmington. I'm like, Wilmington sucks. Really nice area.
Yeah.
But it's not the area. It was not, I lived in Santa Barbara. I was used to that. That whole coastline, right? I lived in England. I've been to Scotland. I've been to Wales. They, from one end to the other, they had their own uniqueness and their beauty. And then I hear all about North Carolina and the Carolinas, and I'm like, yeah, your beaches suck.
The first time friends took me up to Lake Erie when I lived in, I was going to school at Edinburgh in Pennsylvania, which is only 20 minutes south of Erie, right? And they're like, oh yeah, come to the beaches up at the lake. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I'm like, okay, because SoCal girl, I love the beach. We get there and it's rocks. It's all just rocks, and it's like, first of all, this isn't a f***ing beach. And then I cut my foot on a damn rock. I was so pissed. I was so angry. It's like, this is not a fucking beach. You guys... Yeah. Oh, I was so angry.
Yeah,
I was so angry.
It's different. But, once again, they have their own uniqueness,
Yeah.
And...
they just sucked.
But... And it's funny because even here in Florida, if you go to the west side of Florida,
yeah,
you got your Gulf, like your Southwest, you're along Bonita Springs. What is it? You're going from Tampa down. I think that's where it's the Southwest side of it.
Yeah. And
then you go to the east side, it's totally different. And it's like, wow. It's like it's incredible because one teaching excursion I was on for Handy Quilter, I started off on the southwest side, which is, we're kind of that Tampa area, which I was already started becoming familiar with. And then I shot over to the Daytona side, and I'm like, it was so different. The beaches, it really was. And I'm like, okay, I got to go back on the road. It's time for another beach road trip.
Yeah.
So even though I live here, I got to go see another beach.
Well,
yeah,
I think that's the beautiful thing. I mean, Florida has its reputation, right? But it's a very large state, and there's a lot to it. Just like California. Like, people rag on California all the time, and it's like, that's fine, whatever. I just like people rag on Florida all the time. And it's like, there's beauty everywhere. There's good things and bad things, right? You can't be a giant state like this and not have bad things. But there's plenty of good to go with it. So you just gotta, keep an open mind and kind of just enjoy the ride, right?
And, find your niche in it. Find out. Because, what's... being down in Naples, we were right next to San Marcos Island. So, and when we literally was in that bend, that when you go from Naples to Miami.
Right. And
when we moved there, not knowing nothing, the first house we went to, I was like, wow, these ginormous fences and the wires and stuff, and I'm like, this is kind of creepy along the interstate, right? And I'm like, why would they do that? Well, we found out why. It was to keep the panthers and everything on that side, because we were literally out in with all the
wildlife, and
anacondas and the bears.
Yeah, no, thank you. You can keep Florida. Thank you.
they were like, yeah, just going around the curve and you'll be in Alligator Alley in 30 minutes. They're everywhere. And I'm like, what?
So thank you.
I'm from Texas. What? And I went to a shop to go teach one day, and I'm sitting there in traffic, and I happened to look to my right. And fortunately I had my phone where I could just grab it. And along a concrete barrier is laying a baby alligator with a little Florida bird hanging out. And I said, well, obviously he's not hungry because they're just laying there. And I'm like, only in Florida. Only alligators I'd ever seen is in a zoo, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Mm-mm.
And, there was nothing to see on the news. A ginormous alligator just walking down the street.
I remember as a kid, you remember that show? It was like the 911 show, right?
Love it.
And there was tons of alligator incidents that would be called for the 911 show. And yeah, no, it only took a couple of those to be like, no, that's okay. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
think
we
so.
drive into the housing, and there was a huge pond, and every now and then we see little eyeballs, kind of hanging out there. And we had this huge waterway. So the house that we had a pool with a huge lanai, and the house was built around the pool. So when I was in my long arm studio, I could see the pool and the waterway as well as if I was in the bedroom or whatever. It was really awesome. I do miss that. I don't have any of that here, but we kept hearing this splash and all these ripples, and we're thinking, we have two dogs. We have an 80-pound, and then we have little Bella, and we're like, there's got to be gators in there. They're like, no. We keep them clean. If one shows up, we get them out of here. We set them loose. And I'm like, literally, you would hear this huge splash and these ripples. It turned out we had an iguana that lived in 2 trees. And I kid you not, and I'll send you the pictures. This, he was huge. I will find the pictures and I will send them. He was like an anaconda with legs.
That's creepy.
Ginormous flipping
creepy
thing. Yeah, and he was the one that would jump into the water, and that because he was so big that we actually thought it was the gator doing it because of the and then the sounds and the ripples and But the cutest memory was we had a sea turtle that would come through, and he'd stop and he'd look at us. We'd look at him, and he'd kind of wave at us, and then off he'd go. We had ducks walking up and down the sidewalk.
That part's pretty cool. I like that.
It was cool.
Screw the alligators and crocodiles. The turtles, I could take.
Yeah, I miss Naples tremendously. It was absolutely beautiful down there, but my skin tone, no.
Handle it.
And it just took too long to get out. It would take, if it was bad traffic, you were hosed, But, I was like, we are way too far down here. Because of hurricanes or whatever are trying to,
I
and
think
you can't get out.
To go, my ex-husband's youngest sister is an OBGYN for the Army, and she was stationed out in Hawaii, and we went out when my oldest was like 18 months, and so we got to stay actually in an apartment, and we didn't have to stay in Waikiki with the tourists and all that other stuff, and
that's good.
So we'd wake up because we were so jet lagged and all turned around, so we'd be up at 4:30 in the morning, and we'd be at the beach at 5 a.m. and
nice.
Yeah.
I've not gotten to go to Hawaii yet. That's my number 2 for the
I don't know if I'll ever get to go again, but it was beautiful. I was happy about it.
So we keep talking about this, our meeting place, go to Scotland and stuff.
Yeah, because we know.
Yeah, so I've been to Scotland.
Right.
So outside of meeting her, I'm okay. We're good. What my next goal is out for traveling, Maine or Hawaii. But my goal is my thing when I have arrived in all of this I want to be a paid educator on a cruise.
I've seen so many people like doing that, and I don't know how I would fare. I don't know if I would get. My grandma was a big cruise person, like, but back in the day, the cruise ships were very small. You know what I mean? So it was a more personable thing, and like that was supposed to be my 18th birthday, was to go on a cruise with my grandma, and we never went because by the time I turned 18, the cruise ships were so big, she just didn't have the interest in it anymore.
See, I think that's the only reason I can handle it now is because I get motion sickness driving.
Right.
So I think because of the ships are so big now that it may not affect me. But
I have medicines that work pretty well that you just take right at the beginning, right?
Well, those are the kind that within 20 minutes you're doing this. And the drool's going down the side of your face.
I don't know about that. I know my friend Kate Colleran, she's doing one of those teaching cruises coming up. And she'll be taking one of. It's not that bad of a medicine, but that she's gonna take it because she gets really motion sick. So,
I know there's patches you can put on ahead of time and stuff like that. But yeah, a friend of mine that's a handy quilter educator, she is doing a cruise that she's gonna go teach on, and that had been one of her goals. And she called me up and she goes, "Yes," and I'm like, "Yes." But she's really good. Yeah. So that should probably about it, huh? So yeah, we did well. We did well. The sleepies are kicking in big time.
You getting tired? Yeah. No, I totally get it. The chat. Does anyone have any last questions while we have Chris here? Because we'll wrap up for her and let her get off to bed and get some rest, and I'm gonna get my ass to bed here pretty soon too, because I'm feeling.
Did we keep?
Yeah, I had rum to kind of just relax instead of having my coffee to get really hyped up. So like I'm just like really happy right now, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go to sleep.
Did we keep our people, or did they?
Oh yeah, no, we've had a consistent viewership the whole time. So
awesome.
Yeah, everybody's.
So here's my
in front of your nose. In front of your nose. There you go. Just sipping my coffee and making it up as I go along. I like that.
That's my theme.
I love that.
I know. It's all good. See, there goes the Yanni.
Woo! Stop it.
Oh, Sandra, it was a blast. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody had fun. And
it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you. It's been a blast. And hopefully when Lori comes on and does hers,
yeah. I'm excited for Lori because Lori and I have already talked. I'm going to have to go out and get more rum because I think Oshemi finished it off tonight. But Lori and I like to have adult beverages and get a little rowdy. So it should be a good Friday night. Isn't that right, Lori? You're gonna drink with us, right? Yeah, everybody's saying good night and thank you for coming, Chris. Yeah, it's been really nice. I appreciate
it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys.
But so this is the sellout part. Before you go running off, where can everybody find you? Like your website, your Instagram handle, what you've got coming up next. Like sell out for us. Like give us all the goodies.
My thingy's disconnected. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so Facebook is Memories and Stitches, Long Arm Education Studio, I believe. Instagram should be Memories and Stitches Studio, I think. YouTube should be Memories and Stitches Quilting Studio, something like that. If you want to really know what I'm doing, it's going to be Facebook. They find out everything first.
Okay.
So if you have, like I said, if you've got a Luminaire, I've got a Luminaire education page. There's multiple, and I do mean multiple Memories and Stitches pages.
Okay.
Because of the stores and stuff like that. Yeah, Facebook is always going to know first. Remember Instagram? I'm getting a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
I have emails, memoriesandstitches@yahoo.com. You can always email me. I'll respond. I have a website, memoriesandstitches.com.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Memories and Stitches.
You can't go wrong with Memories and Stitches. If it's not in your brain now, then I don't know what to tell you,
if it's
right?
not there now, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for coming on and being a part of the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I loved it. It was a blast.
Have a good night.
You too.
But yeah, so that is Chris, and a lovely woman, and I think I got to know her a bit more, and I think you guys got to get to know her a bit more too. A very interesting person for sure. And yeah, like I said earlier, if it hadn't been for Chris, I wouldn't have started printing my patterns, and I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now with everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you so much for hanging out and asking your questions and being just super supportive throughout this whole event. And yeah, I really appreciate your support. I get to sell out now. So if you are interested and you've enjoyed the live stream, hit the follow. That way you get notifications. If you got any Prime subs or you're interested in becoming a member of the Quilty Crew, go ahead and subscribe. I really super appreciate it. It feeds my fabric addiction, and it goes to right there, the H&H or Bust funding campaign that we're working on this year. Yeah, so I appreciate it. And you guys can find me at Sandrasa Sews on Instagram, Art Quilts by Design on YouTube. I have been posting all of these videos up on the YouTube. So, if you miss, and the VODs only stay on Twitch for 30 to 60 days. But things up on YouTube, they'll stay forever. So if you want to catch this or replay it or anything like that, you're more than welcome to head over to the YouTube and watch it there. And yeah, I do have a pattern that I've been teasing over on the Instagram. It's coming out, I'll tell you, it's coming out February 12th, which is not even 5 days away. It's coming up really quick. So keep an eye out over on the Instagram for the next pattern that I'm really super excited to share with you. So anyway, guys, I am going to head out and get an actual good night's sleep. I have been very bad about staying up till midnight almost every night and not taking care of myself. So I'm going to be a good Sandrasa and go do that. We will be back on Friday with Lori. She is the new block this month, and she is one of my closest friends, and I'm excited to sit down with her and have her on to share with you all. So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic night, and I will see you next time. Bye.